لا واحدة على Dr. Muhammad. Yes, we can start now.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I just inform myself that this is Muhammad Nazmul Hoque, and I'm from Malaysia. I'm working as a senior lecturer in University Technology Mara, Malaysia, and I have been working since 2020 in same university, and I'm trying my best to do something good for the Ummah, and I'm trying best to do some research on Islamic finance, Waqf, and crowdfunding, and some other related area. So hopefully today's discussion webinar will be benefited myself and also for participants. So first of all, I would like to thanks to our organizer to invite me for this webinar. I'm really happy to be with you. I would like to learn from all of you. After the discussion, you can share anything related to our topic. You can also raise question. We can solve together, inshallah. So may I share my slide, please? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. First of all, as you know, today's topic about strengthening accountability and governance of crowdfunding, and it is based on funding of higher educational institutions. So my topic's focus today is about crowdfunding and how crowdfunding can support higher educational institutions or any kind of educational institutions using this platform. I will try to start from the basic of crowdfunding. Then we go try to get some of the experience using crowdfunding established fund and supported to some universities in this contemporary era, and I will try to give some examples from the historical era and also some of the institutions that established the traditional raising fund to support the universities and educational institutions. So first of all, crowdfunding. We can see the word crowdfunding. There is a two part of this word. One, we can say the crowd, another is funding. That means the funding come from the crowd, from the people, mass people who can contribute for funding a project, who can contribute funding any kind of initiatives, who can contribute any small contribution by any small contribution to a project. So those funding come from the crowd, from the mass people. We can say this is the crowdfunding in very simply introduction. If we go a bit deeper, we can say that crowdfunding refers any kind of activities, those who, I mean that the members of the public from the crowd, they collect donations through social media, through any kind of media who can support, who can be the media to support a project. So we can say easily that it is an initiative, an activity that members of the public, they can support donation or any kind of contribution through social media, through internet based, then it will be a definition of crowdfunding. In particularly, we can say that crowdfunding actually described as a virtual group of activities. Why? To obtain funding for the scholarships and participations from non-expert ordinary citizens. That means only any type of ordinary citizen, they can involve to participate to support any kind of project. So this we call it as a crowdfunding. We have many kind of platforms in this world. We can see many countries, they are initiated many platforms to use crowd as a mechanism of funding to support any kind of initiatives. So primarily we can say that there are some types of crowdfunding. We can say that in forms of crowdfunding. So in the forms of crowdfunding, in the forms of crowdfunding, we can say that there are 4 types of crowdfunding. One is reward-based crowdfunding. So another one is peer-to-peer crowdfunding and equity crowdfunding, as well as donation-based crowdfunding. Okay, so reward-based crowdfunding is any individual or any group can donate to projects in order to exchange of non-monetary rewards. That means once someone donate for reward-based crowdfunding, they will not get the return any monetary benefits. They will get the return reward which he has aimed to get in the at the end of the project. Another one is peer-to-peer lending. We call it a significant expansion of the lending. Any kind of investments, borrowers to get loans from the investors with or without interest. For example, I myself want to lend some of the money in order to get the profit. So this is my intention. Or someone, they want to send some of the donation, some of the fund, but their intention is not get the return, any kind of profit or interest. We can say this is peer-to-peer lending. Another types of, as we mentioned, equity crowdfunding. This is quite broad, and the aim of this equity crowdfunding is a donor, they can send the fund to the organization, and the aim of the sending fund is to get the return for equity purpose. That means they want to get the return as a equity based. And the last one, we can say it is a donation-based crowdfunding. And donation-based crowdfunding refers to charitable crowdfunding. People want to charity their fund, their contribution, and they do not want to get any kind of return from the funding. So easily we can conclude that this form of crowdfunding based on, we can say it is based on donation, based on business to get the return, based on non-monetary return to get some other benefits from the website, from the crowdfunder initiative. They can give without monetary benefits, other than benefits to because of the support. Okay, so once we have an idea about crowdfunding, how will be the mechanism to sending the support or fund? So there are very simple mechanism models. A fundraiser, he initiate a project, then he will or they will submit the projects to the crowdfunding platform. Then crowdfunding platform they will announce to collect the fund from the funder, and the funder will try to lend their money using the banks or any kind of technology. We have too many technologies nowadays. So within this technology, these banks or any kind of any kind of financial institution, they will send this money to the fundraisers. Then fundraisers will support to the project. Then project will be succeeded or fail. So in this regard, there are some mechanism inside of this model. So time to time, we'll try to explain this kind of mechanism in a few time later. In terms of crowdfunding experience in many countries, I want to share some of the experience about crowdfunding projects in few countries. As you know, I'm growing up in Malaysia. I studied in Malaysia, so I try to find some of the experience from the Malaysia. So I found that there are very significant growing of crowdfunding platform in Malaysia. Very significantly, they are growing in the Malaysia, and we have in Malaysia two platform. Those are very famous to collecting crowdfunding from the crowd in order to initiate a project and helping to the projects. So I found that we have two fundraiser platform of crowdfunding. We call one MyStarter. So MyStarter is quite famous in Malaysia. They established in 2012. And through this time, they have initiated many projects, and they have until 2017, I found that they have initiated projects, collected more than 1 million ringgit to support the projects in using crowdfunding platform. We have another is called another platform, we call it Pitch In. So Pitch In also established in 2012, and they have so many initiatives using crowdfunding platform. Not only that, we have also some of the other platform, and they are also quite famous. We have Scholar Fund. Scholar Fund means school fund platform. Usually this kind of platform, they try to help those who are needy in the school level, and they try to help by using crowdfunding platform. We have also People Lender, ATA Plus, Netrave, also initiatives, Alice Global, Ethis Capital, and Earthscape projects, and Give.my. So all these platforms are competing each other to collect the funding for educational purposes, also some other purposes to helping the other people. It is not only to the helping the institutions, to help people themselves also. Those who want to get the return themselves from the profit, they also benefited from this kind of platform. We have another experience. I just found there are very significantly growing this crowdfunding platform in UK. And we saw that crowdfunding, they are sharing some similarities with traditional fundraising models. But this time, I mean, this crowdfunding, they are using fully internet-based. So maybe we have crowdfunding fundraising models before in the last era or contemporary era, but we do not need it to use the internet-based way to fund the rise, to raise the fund. So in order to gain the fund in this era, we are in technology era. So the people are using the technology to get easily fund and support other projects. So I found that two of the very famous platform in UK, Hubab and Just Giving, there are two platform of crowdfunding, and they are usually trying to support educational institutions. As in, maybe you can see that Hubab is formerly known as a sponsor craft, and it is a very famous platform, and it is free of charge crowdfunding platform created for students especially. So on this platform, the creator of a project must be registered number of a university. So for example, any kind of member they want to register from the university in order to help the university's matter. So in that case, they have to register, and register is free of the charge. And by this way, staff can also organize a campaign on Hubab. Then the project needs to directly benefit the students. So it is not benefited for someone else. It's totally benefits for the students. Another one is Just Giving. They are also a general crowdfunding platform. Only difference between Just Giving and Hubab is they charge, I mean, Just Giving, they charge 5% fee for each donation through their website. So if anyone want to use their website and they want to collect the donation or collect the fund, using their website, they have to get the charge from any collected amount. By these two platforms, they have initiated too many projects. So I found that last few years, they have initiated few projects in their UK universities. We know that I mean they have initiated around 1,767 projects in 133 UK universities between 2014 and 2018, 5 years projects. So they have initiated around more than 1,000 projects in order to gain the fund and help the students. So in that case, they Just Giving, I found that for the student file initiated in projects, they have initiated 567. Hubab is initiated 1200. Sustainability oriented projects, creativity oriented projects, and technology transfer. So all these projects they have initiated in the 133 UK universities, and they want to gain the fund from the public, from the students, those who are capable to pay limited amount to support these projects. After the 5 years of these initiatives, they found that approximately £460,000 raised per university per year. That means every year from each university that they raised £460,000 for all these projects. And they found that most of the young alumni and young students, they try to engage with these projects. So from this experience, we can say that there are a platform, if we can manage this platform very nicely, effectively, and we can manage good governance and accountability, then we can succeed with this project. Not only this, I also have interviewed some of the institutions, higher education institutions in Malaysia during my study of PhD. So I went to one of the university I'm in, the university I am teaching now, University Technology Mara, and they have fundraiser department. So I went to interview the officer to get information about fundraising media or fundraising way, how they raise the fund, is there any kind of support for the students. So officer just informed me that they have many kind of initiatives. One of the initiatives is very popular in this university, and their university is quite big and they have more than 180,000 students in this university. They have more than 2,000 staff and management. They have more than 20,000 alumni in this in Malaysia. So they initiated a very small project with very limited amount. So they want to collect two ringgit only per month from each person. So the students, they can pay as a donation 2 ringgit per month. And at the end of the month, they can see that they saw that 40,000 ringgit from the students every month collected. And yearly they have collected 480. In 5 years, they have collected 28.8 million. Similarly, from alumni, also they have collected after the 5 years, 702 million. From the students, 170 or 80 students, 80,000 students now, and they have collected after 5 years, 244.8 million. So altogether, they are, in 5 years, they try to collect from all these members 244 million ringgit, and they established one of the Islamic center in their university, and they are gaining the profit from the center, and these profit are going to distribute to the students and needy staffs and other management, those who are really needed for the fund. So we found that in everywhere, if there is a good governance and accountability and good transparency to initiate a project, it will be benefited by the university and benefited all the members, those who have given the fund. If you look back a bit before a few hundred years, you can see we have era of Abbasi. We call it the golden age of education. They were very famous for the educational matters. And in the era of Abbasi, we can see that there are a lot of masjid, educational institutions, and libraries. So we found that around the masjid, they have study circle and scholars who organized private schools and private madrasa to teach the students or to teach the public. We found that there are more than 70 public library in the era of Abbasi, and one of the famous library by Bait al-Hikmah. So all are these institutions and higher education institutions actually funded by society participation. So government very nicely and very efficiently govern the fund, and they have given the fund to employer to sustain their educational institutions. They started from primary to elementary to higher education institutions to support, and public were funded in order to sustain their educational institutions. If you see from contemporary era, this era, We can see there are many universities are sustaining themselves without government fund. For example, if you look back to Al-Azhar University, you can see that there are some likelihood of using contribution based higher educational institution development. So they have many sources of the fund from the charitable organizations, donations. They have House of Zakat, they have Awqaf department, they have too many land, established the land, they have special fund and some of the business. All these funds are created from the society, and society are involved to help this university, to support this university. And all the fund return to the university is sustained to continue their educational matters. Not only this, if you see the Cambridge University, they have a department, endowment department, and very established endowment department. And the endowment department are getting fund from alumni, private donations, and campaign, fundraising team, fundraising camp, organization, charity, Cambridge Days event, too many events, too many things they are involved to gain the fund from the public. And by this way, they gain the fund from the public, they invest the fund to the banking institutions, and they are gaining the profit from the institutions. So by this way, they do not need to depend to the government to fund the university. So they have themselves sustain their university to continue the educational matters. If you see the famous university, the Harvard University, similarly, they have gifts from donors. They have sponsored fund from various people. They have capital campaign from supporters, alumni, and they have federal fund, non-federal fund. They have foundations to organize various events to gain the fund. They have local government, foreign government. Everyone is supporting to initiative many projects in their university. At the end, they put all these initiatives of this fund to the investment, and they are gaining money from the investments and creating the sustainable purpose of funding universities. They also do not need to depend to their government to fund the university. So all our support come from the public. So maybe the way is different. Nowadays, the crowdfunding, they initiated, and also they're using that this platform to get more public support. So we can say that there are ways, if we maintain it efficiently, if we govern it nicely, then it will be succeeded. And not only that, we know one of the famous Jami' al-Qarawiyyin, actually this Jami' established by women who got the money from her father as a warasa, and she intended to establish a mosque. And from this mosque is gone border and now became an university. We can say that this university, this is the fund created a mosque only, but the initiated the firstly a mosque, but after that the people come forward and they have donated, they have supported this mosque, and this mosque become an university. So the intention and the governance was very nice and efficient. That's why this was established. So we are in Malaysia and other countries, they are facing funding problem in order to sustain their university. But we have so many ways to raise the fund, but we have a very big condition is to maintain the good governance and transparency as well as accountability to manage the fund. If you look to Turkey, they have too many universities were funded by Waqf, and also there are many universities, residential areas also funded by Waqf fund or other fund, which involve society. Society are trying to contribute to the institutions, to the educations, and also government also trying to get the initiatives, and now these all are these university established. So the Turkey, they focused on the education, health, culture, and special playground, and also rural development to get the fund from the society and establish all these focus area. So lastly, I can say that our target, our one of the main goal is to get the good governance. So for the good governance, we have to have the first criteria, we call it accountability. For the accountability, to ensure the accountability, all the decision makers are accountable for their actions. What about actions to do this fund? We have to have the accountability. We have to, all the decisions, we have to see that there is an action which is accountability. I am the accountable to the society, and at the end, I am the accountable to the Lord. Participation, one of the effective factor is participation. All the society participate to donate an institute. They want to see the result. So all are involved to see the decision, to see the process of governing in order to support again. So if the participate society is not happy with the governance, they are not encourageable to donate or to support again for the other institute. Another one is transparency. Nowadays, in many countries, we have the problem of transparency. We can see that there are a lot of zakat, collecting from the people, but the donation, the transparency is there. So if there is not good transparency, then people will not be happy with the transparency. Then they will not be more encourageable to support the institutions. Though so this transparency is the key factors, I can say, for effective governance. So to maintain the good governance, we have to maintain good transparency in any project, in any institutions. Another one, we can say rule of law. Okay, we have every country's for any institutions, for any initiative, there are some rules and regulations. So we have to accept all the rules and regulations. We have to perform well with rules and regulation. Sometimes we deny intentionally or unintentional rules and regulation. Then the process of governance will be questionable. So in that regard, I can say that crowdfunding platform will be more efficient if there are good governance factor, more reliable, and people will be trusted more. In that case, any kind of initiatives, we have to remain the good governance. But the last one, I can say that to maintain the accountability, to maintain the good governance, we have to have few factors. We call it success factors. For the success factors, all the management for the initiators or the projects, we have to have productive. Sometimes we collected the money, after that we are not productive. So in that case, if we are productive, if we manage very nicely, if we help the other people, if you give the return very nicely, then any kind of projects will be more success. We have accumulation. So accumulation is whatever collection, whatever amount, we have to have very nice governance. So otherwise, people will be unhappy to give the fund again. And at the end, we have to have an administratively self-sufficient. We have too many collection, but administratively we are poor. So in that case, the collection will not be used very nicely because of not sufficient administratively. We have to have financially self-sufficient. Whatever amount come after the charges, we have to transfer all the money in the selected projects. Then projects will be succeed. Then people will be happy, and they will be more encouraged to help in other initiatives. So with that, I can conclude that crowdfunding is a new platform, quite new, but it's already famous in many countries, and people are using this crowdfunding platform, using social media, using some smart technologies to gain the fund. But there are some very, there are some risk point. One of the risk is scammer, and people cannot trust which platform is the trustable platform. So in that case, we need to improve the technologies to trust and to trust the initiators, and we can fund safely using the social media, using the technologies. Then our project will be more success. With that, I want to conclude this session. Thank you very much for your listening. I'd like to see your sharing. If we have any question, we can try together. Thank you very much. Thank you, the organizer, to give me the chance. With that, I open question and answer session. Anyone have any questions for this?
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad.
Welcome. Do you have any questions for?
Any question? You can raise your hand or type in chat.
You can type also. You can share your knowledge also in the crowdfunding platform, about the crowdfunding platform. I try to make it short within 40 minutes in order to get some discussion from audience. So if you have any kind of discussion or question, we can raise and we can discuss.
I think, Dr. Muhammad, everything's clear.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Then hopefully see you next any other platform. With that, I thank you again to the organizer for inviting me for this webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. On behalf of the Islamic Economic Club, I would like to thank you for this special lecture, and we hope to meet you again in other lecture in future. Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.